Hello, beautiful community. Just a very quick Saturday night message about the Russian MiGs entering Estonian territory. Because I think you get it completely, your own view of it, and you get mine. But let me just re-articulate it because I think it's important. The point here isn't that we're being tested. I don't think this is a test in the sense that tests are preps for something real that might be done. This is an actual campaign of gradually chipping away at our democratic confidence in ourselves via chipping away at our confidence in Article 5. So you're getting that bit of the analysis in public, that this is about undermining Article 5, undermining, if you like, political confidence in Article 5. But the point of doing that is then to undermine us democratically, because when you look out onto the world and you see that just like voters don't seem to have any impact on politics, so politicians seem to have no impact on politics and no impact on foreign affairs. And that's deliciously conducive to Putin's aspiration that we, of our own elect authoritarian populists who are post-truth and anti-institutional into power. So understand these things not as tests, but as an active campaign to sort of slowly bleed the West's capacity to take itself seriously politically. And so far it's working, because what's going to happen is that the Russians will keep escalating and the West will keep not responding. Now, you might think you're incredibly clever, and you probably are, so congratulations. But you might think you're incredibly clever and say, well, we've just got to respond very strongly. And my advice here is there is no such thing as responding very strongly without a strategy. And we are struggling to develop a strategy because we're so democratically weak at home. So what's the point of all of this stuff, wasting 2 minutes of your life? The point is to emphasize domestic politics, to emphasize the fact that domestic politics is a central part of the story of why we're struggling with foreign policy, but also to emphasize that while Putin is not causing our domestic democratic decline, except just at the margins, a tiny bit, he is aspiring for it to accelerate. And what he does is all about feeding into that. He wants ungovernability in Ukraine, but he also wants ungovernability in the West. So I'm just drilling into us this notion of not forgetting domestic politics. Because when you hear military analysis and when you hear foreign policy analysis, you often get a picture that your local democracies are being sort of treated as sort of magical abstractions about which nothing needs to be said. And that's a very fundamental illusion, which leads to the kind of nonsense, which you encounter in articles left, right, and center, which say that the West needs to regain its willpower. It's not about willpower. It's about democratic incapacity at home causing strategic incapacity on the foreign stage. So these are not tests. These are actually effective way of chipping away at Article 5 and, by extension, chipping away at our democratic confidence at home. That's all I wanted to say. I'm sorry, it's obvious. For those of you who've been following my analysis. Lots and lots of love.